What's up, you guys? It's Steve here with some pretty incredible breaking news just coming out. If you haven't already heard, take a look at the headlines. Just coming out 31 minutes ago, updated breaking news. A Russian-made missile killed 2 people in Poland near its Ukrainian border. The Polish government says, and the blast set off tense moments with world powers as Russia's war in Ukraine rages on. And this is incredible news because, as you guys know, the war with Russia and Ukraine has been taking place for quite some time. And today, Russian missiles went into Ukraine, and they're saying crossed over the border into Poland, struck the land, and killed 2 individuals. And now Poland is assessing what they're going to be doing, how they're going to be responding. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you video footage that just came out. And as you know, Poland is a member of NATO, along with many other countries, including the United States. And if one country of NATO goes to war, so do all the other countries. And today, President Joe Biden just confirmed the United States alliance to NATO. Now, take a look at some of the other headlines just coming out. Russian-made missile kills 2 in Poland. Officials say half of Kiev loses power after the missile strikes. And this just coming out from the meeting that took place in Poland. Poland says Russian-made missile killed 2, will consider invoking NATO Article 4. Now, what does this all mean? What's going to be unfolding here? We're going to be seeing. I will keep you up to date, but let's take a look at this article, then look at the video footage of the response from President Joe Biden and what is being reported at this time. Poland has summoned the country's Russian ambassador after concluding that a Russian-made missile fell into its territory on Tuesday and killed 2 people near the Ukrainian border. Now, in the wake of the incident, the NATO member will increase the combat readiness of some of the troops and is considering activating Article 4 of NATO's military alliance treaty, officials say. And again, what does this mean and what will be the response to NATO allies? Well, NATO allies respond. It remains unclear where the missile was fired from and why it fell in Poland. Polish President Duda said in a Tuesday address that Poland does not know where the missile was fired from, while noting that the missile was most likely produced in Russia. We are working calmly and in a very calm manner, Duda said during an address from the Bureau of National Security in Warsaw, as he urged calm and reassured the country of NATO's ally support. The United States is sending experts to investigate the site, and the ongoing investigation will be a joint operation, Duda said. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said Tuesday that it was important that all facts are established after speaking with the Polish president about the explosion. I offered my condolences for the loss of life. NATO is monitoring the situation and allies are closely consulting. Important that all facts are established, he said on Twitter. NATO allies responded with concern to the incident. Some were circumspect in their statements, neither speculating or confirming what caused the explosion. United States President Joe Biden spoke with the Polish counterpart Duda, where he reaffirmed the United States' ironclad commitment to NATO, he said in a readout. So the United States saying they stand firm with their alliance to NATO. Senior White House officials said that they had not yet confirmed of any rocket or missile strike in Poland, but the United States officials are currently working to try to figure out exactly what took place. French President Emmanuel Macron called for talks at the G20 summit on Wednesday, which Biden is attending, following reports of the incident in Poland, according to Elise Pallas, spokesman on Tuesday. A French defense source told CNN that France was being extremely cautious and that officials would not comment until they were able to analyze all the available information. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak on Tuesday spoke with Duda, reiterating the UK's solidarity with Poland and expressed condolences for the victims. Baltic NATO states were more strident in their statements, stressing readiness to defend NATO's territory. Estonia called the news most concerning, according to a Twitter post from the Estonian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Estonia is ready to defend every inch of NATO territory. Latvian Defense Minister Artis Pabriks afforded blame on Russia, even though there had not been any confirmation from Polish authorities at the time that one Russian missile landed in their territory. Condolences to our Polish brothers in arms. Criminal Russian regime fired missiles, which targeted not only Ukrainian civilians but also landed on NATO territory in Poland. Latvia fully stands with Polish friends and condemns this crime. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, whose country is not a NATO member, also pointed the finger at Moscow. Hitting NATO territory with missiles is a Russian strike against collective security. This is a very significant escalation. We have to act, he said. Now, invoking NATO Article 4. The North American Treaty Organization is a group of 30 North American and European nations. According to NATO, its purpose is to guarantee the freedom and security of its members through political and military means. The alliance was created in 1949 in a response to the start of the Cold War. Its original purpose was to protect the West from the threats posed by the Soviet Union. Since the end of the Cold War, many former Soviet nations have joined NATO, much to the annoyance of Putin. Article 4, which Poland is considering, is the consultation method that allows members to bring an issue, usually a security issue, affecting them for discussion at the North Atlantic Council, the alliance's decision-making body. Now, the parties will consult together whenever, in opinion of any of them, the territorial integrity, political independence, or security of any of their parties is threatened. Now, the best-known aspect of the alliance is Article 5 of the treaty, which, if invoked, means an attack against one ally is considered an attack against all allies. It has only ever been invoked once in response to the September 11, 2001 terrorist attack against the United States. However, the alliance can take collective defense measures without invoking Article 5 and has done this in light of the Russian attacks on Ukraine. So this is huge major news coming out, which could be leading to new levels of war. But we will see. I will keep you up to date. But take a look at the news reports coming out just earlier today.
Let's take it live now to Edward Lawrence, who is on the road with President Biden at the G20 summit. Edward, what have you heard from the administration about this attack on Polish soil?
Well, Liz, right now, the president's advisors are seeing what you're seeing in the dollar index, as well as the Treasury safe haven buying, watching that situation. I can tell you within the last 7 minutes now, the NSC spokesperson, Adrienne Watson, tweeted out this. She said, I'm going to read this. We've seen these reports out of Poland and are working with the Polish government to gather more information. We cannot confirm the reports or any of the details at this time. We will determine what happened and what appropriate steps to take next. And the Polish government has already called an emergency meeting within Poland of their advisors. Now, here in Bali, the president says that he has talked with other world leaders about the situation in Ukraine, including worst-case options. Listen to the president here.
We discussed Russia's aggression against Ukraine, reaffirmed our shared belief in the threat or the use of nuclear weapons is totally unacceptable.
And the reason this is so important, let's go back to March when President Joe Biden came out and he made this statement. He made it very clear, and I'm going to read this to you, what he said. He said, the reason we want to make this clear is a movement on Ukraine. Don't even think about moving 1 single inch into NATO territory. The one sacred obligation, we have a sacred obligation under Article 5 to defend every inch of NATO territory with the full force of our collective power. And statements like these beg a response, should this be proven true that 2 missiles did launch into Ukraine, into Poland territory. And last night in Bali here, we saw the Russian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sergei Lavrov, leave the G20 dinner early. Minutes after his plane left, reports of missile strikes hitting 2 resident buildings in Ukraine, in Kyiv, Ukraine, happened. So we're waiting for official word, again, from the president's team here in Bali. He is scheduled to close out the G20 session with a tree ceremony tomorrow and then meeting with the UK Prime Minister. I do also want to read one last thing we got from the Russian Foreign Ministry, the Ministry of Defense, I should say. They are denying reports that one of their missile strikes hit in Poland. They're also denying they made any strikes near targets in Ukrainian-Polish state border. This is from the Russian Ministry of Defense. So we're going to have to sort this all out over the next few hours and see what the response is from the U.S. and other NATO partners. Back to you.
Okay, and I just want to clarify one thing and let you know that this is hitting the tape, Edward. White House says it cannot, as of yet, confirm reports coming out of Poland. But again, that senior U.S. intel member telling the Associated Press that missiles have hit Poland and that they did sail over Ukraine from Russia. We will be watching this. Apparently 2 people dead. As soon as we get any more confirmation, we will bring it to you, Edward.
So there you have it, you guys. That is the latest. Now, as more information rolls out, I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. But huge breaking news coming out. And like I said, as more unfolds, I'll report it to you on the channel. With that being said, if you made it this far, you haven't already, don't forget, smash the like button. If you appreciate the content, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date. And if you want any updates on other breaking news or maybe stimulus checks, check out my most recent videos on it. I will keep you up to date on everything going on. But with that being said, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.